I remember when I used to sit outside of the classroom in the hallway and used to make jokes with my classmates and also have random people come to us and give us their opinion on the magazine.
I remember that our first investigative article took us literally weeks to write. We had countless meetings with admin, we had to make a lot of edits, but with the help of the whole investigative team, the chiefs, Miss Padilla and Miss Henning, we were able to pull through and learn how to work better as a team.
I remember receiving feedback for the first set of articles that I edited in the opinion section.
I remember just seeing all the backlash on Twitter we were getting for the article titled How to Be ASFM. Considering it was my first year here, that's the moment when I realized how powerful our voices can get to be.
I remember when we went to Multimedios and some people from our class participated in a simulated televised debate about the Clásico, and then how we got to be inside the cabins of radio stations like D99 while they were on the air.
I remember at the beginning of the year I had the idea of planning a New York trip, and me and Miss Padilla planned this trip for 4 months, and we already had everything planned, and at the last minute it had to be cancelled.
I remember when I got to interview my first human, and after that got to interview a lot of amazing people week by week and got to share other stories to inspire others.
I remember when Amelia and I came up with the Valentine's Day issue title.
I remember coming to the class really stressed and Miss Padilla having food and cookies to share with all of us.
I vividly remember the first student and teacher focus groups this year, where our first issue got pretty heavily criticized, with reason. And just seeing how the love for El 107 grew throughout the rest of these focus groups was wonderful.
I remember when Raquel and I used to go every single period to Miss Padilla's closet where she kept all her food, and we grabbed some while we were working on our designs.
I remember when I had to find sponsors for the magazine, and it was really stressful, but I had a lot of fun contacting restaurants and being with my team.
I remember the time my car was filled with stuffed animals for the February cover shoot.
In El 107, I remember once when I was exercising and Matias called me that we have a very important meeting with Multimedios, and I was like, okay, and I immediately went there, and I was in my sporting clothes. When I got there, it was a very formal thing, and everyone was wearing their ties and suits and everything, and I just felt like I wasn't dressed for the occasion.
I remember when my first opinion piece got so much backlash that a student that had already graduated had to come out and write an opinion piece to respond.
I remember when Balbina went on a trip and I was ahead for the day that the 107 would come out, and it was a lot more work than I thought it would be.
I remember joining the class halfway through the year and being welcomed by everyone.
I remember going to Multimedios and discussing El Clásico Regio in the simulation.
I remember when Victoria and I used the 107 platform to release the senior video.
I remember the double block we made cinnamon rolls with Miss Padilla sandwichera.
I remember that I cried because my design did not save, and it was 30 minutes before we were supposed to send the magazine to print.
I remember sitting outside the office every day for a week and a half, before, during, and after school, just for the sake of a story.
I remember when my first article went viral on Twitter, and also eating in the cafeteria with the soft team.
I remember when the soft news department, part of it, went to visit a lot of the haunted places in Monterrey. It was really fun, even though we got kicked out of several places.
I remember how I started this class in the second semester and met a lot of people in the design group.
I remember very fondly working on the April Fool's issue of the magazine. Being given full creative control with the soft news team and just working with them and seeing the ideas they brought to the table and just really the passion and the work they put in for that magazine. We also collaborated with the hard news and the opinion teams, and just working with all of them was truly an amazing experience.
I remember the sense of unity that the class gave me and how we worked so well as a team that it almost felt like a family, forming a lot of new relationships that I wouldn't have expected. And as a cartoonist, I just remember how my art drastically changed because I was able to learn how to take critiques and make my art better.
I remember bringing in cakes every month to celebrate birthdays.
I remember in December talking to classmates in the 107 about the sexual harassment incidents that were going on in ASFM, and then having the idea of writing an opinion article on it, and then it turned into an investigative article, and I spent about 3 months writing that article and investigating and talking to people, and Nadia joining me also writing that article, and it was an incredible experience. And yeah.
I remember when we created the student voice contract so that every student feels free to share their opinion.
I remember having to change the plans and improvise for second semester because of COVID-19 quarantine.
I remember working alongside the Canal team to bring out new videos every month, and also beginning to plan a documentary on December but having to postpone it due to the coronavirus. I love this class and it means the world to me to be part of this team. Thank you for an amazing year.